Hello, viewer, and welcome to Spotlight here on Hope TV, where you look and live. And this is December, the last month of the year, and graciously we are here. And our prayer is that we will finish strong. And talking about strength, our conversation on this edition of Spotlight is about mental health, especially in the context of the economic times that we are living in. Now that we're in a holiday season, what are the dynamics there around our mental health? And because we want to finish the year strong, we have with us Matthew Wanjeri, who has been here before and always does a great job. And she comes to us from Mind Purpose Africa, where she is the founder there. And she's a psychologist, she is a corporate therapist, she leads a lot of community transformational initiatives, and she's here to just help us to navigate, especially the economic season that we're in and also the holiday season we're in. And as always, you're part of this conversation. Do engage us on the number provided there, the WhatsApp line provided there, and also on our social media platforms. We'll be glad to have you as part of this conversation. Mercy, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Again.
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah, our viewers really appreciate your wisdom, your insight.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah. So welcome back again, and I know that you are daily meeting the needs of people, especially in that mental health space.
Yeah.
But just kind of just reflecting, we find that some years back, if anyone was seeing a psychologist,
Yeah.
we used to call them shrinks. It was either we took it that you were having a real mental disturbance.
Yes.
And and you're a person to run away from.
Yeah.
But now we have also so many psychologists now, and the discipline of psychology is studied way wider
Yeah.
in institutions of learning.
Yes.
Just ask, maybe even coming from your day to day.
Yeah.
Are you seeing more people come to see psychologists now to help them in life?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. Recently, as you have preempted that long time ago, if anybody heard that they are going to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist, they were panicking. What could be the problem with me? Am I okay? Am I nuts? Or what's happening? But thank God to the awareness programs that we've been having. Thank God to the education that the public has regarding mental health. Mental health is a normal psychological disturbance whereby somebody feels stressed and they would like to seek for help. And we have seen very many corporations embracing mental health. That is corporate wellness. Thank God to those corporations. We have seen schools employing psychologists at their schools. We have seen people setting up psychologists, wellness centers for people to get help. So this is the new and good phenomenon for everybody, because we have seen that mental health is an illness that, it's not physical. It's not physical. You see somebody has a mark or somebody is sick. It is inside. The behavior is the one that says, hey, look, something is wrong here. We got to look for help. And here we are. We welcome everybody to seek psychology.
All right.
Yes.
I think that's it's a new space of healing. Because previously we knew about different forms of medicine.
Yeah.
Different kinds of support.
Yes.
Now this is a whole new area now. It's opened up.
Yeah.
And maybe you can, from your profession, you
Yes.
can trace for us where this resurgence or this surging of, because no, mental health is everywhere, as you say, in schools, in corporates, in different places, even in communities.
Yes.
Can you track where this surge came from?
Yeah, most definitely. This surge came obviously after COVID-19. When COVID-19 came to the world, there was a lot of confusion. Yeah, people got afraid, Everybody was worried they're going to contract the disease. Others died during this time. Others went through a lot of depression. And so where did they get help from? They could only get help from psychologists, from counseling psychologists, because most of the people got depressed completely. You know, there was a lot of loss and grief. There was a lot of separation, divorce. Yeah, all this confusion brought about mental illnesses. There was a lot of anxiety. I'm sure everybody was anxious. You know, you could see somebody coughing a little, everybody was fearing to go near them. That was anxiety, you know. Loss, you know, maybe a breadwinner just died, you know, that's stress by itself. The families who were affected had to seek for counseling. And that is why now therapy is recommended. A long time ago, it was easy for them to sort their issues. And remember, I'm very happy to announce that nowadays, even in the universities, young people have ventured in counseling psychology as a vocation. Because it used to be for old, you know, you would imagine it's an old person counseling the young, you know, it was like a mentorship issue. But right now, it's very professional. We deal with science, yeah? We deal with science that has been proven. And we use approaches, theoretical approaches, to heal our clients.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, you rightly put it, because some years back,
Yeah.
the counseling
Yes.
took mostly a mentoring approach.
Yeah.
It was advice, pieces of advice.
Yes.
But now, as you say, it's
Yes.
no longer just advice,
Yes.
but now it's science.
Yes.
Which is quite a shift.
It is.
And now even young people are embracing this.
Yes.
And before, also pastors
Yes.
were taken to be the community counselors. If you had an issue that's related maybe to stress,
Yes.
whether it's family or work, before the coming into surface of counseling psychologists and accessibility, of
Yes,
that,
yes.
the pastor was a community counselor.
Definitely.
Now, do you feel that pastors now also need to have networks of psychologists? Because some counselors some pastors have a negative view about counseling and around the science around it.
Yes.
They want to maintain that spiritual, authority around all matters. How would you, talk to that?
Yeah. You see, Rev, if you look at mental health, there's religion and mental health. For example, a pastor gives the word of God from the Bible or from the Quran or from any other referral. And a pastor is not a psychologist unless the pastor has gone through school to learn the art of psychology. And long time ago, people would somebody puts hands on you, pray for you, and still the same thing, the occurrence keeps on coming, and you're wondering, am I not healing? What could be the problem with me? It's because the approach has not been looked at nicely. And I've seen pastors, I've seen churches, many churches who have a program for psychology, because for sure it has proven that it works, using the best approaches, using the best treatment planning, using a right intervention, and treatment is so easy because we go through analytical issues to know what could be the problem, what is the root. And surely this thing is very spiritual. We're not saying that psychology is not spiritual. What we're saying is we gotta follow our approaches. And remember, there are communities who do not recognize, like somebody has a mental illness, they would say it is witchcraft. Other communities would say they do not want to hear about it. But maybe it's just a small issue with the mind that needs to be aligned through therapy. Because you see, maybe it could be an anxiety. Unless it is so acute, like schizophrenia, for example, that is now where we focus on clinical psychology. And a lot of analytics is done to really know what could be the problem. It could be medical, but it starts where a person has gone to school, learned about psychology to be able to come up with an intervention. It's just like a doctor, What is the presenting issue? It is this. Then this is how I'm going to do my treatment. It is the same thing like going to visit a doctor.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me stay with the pastors a little bit.
Yes.
Would you then recommend that every pastor should work closely with a counseling psychologist?
I would recommend 100%. Why? Because a counseling psychology is able to know why is this person behaving the way they are behaving. You know, you see, we are Africans. I am an African. And Africa, we really believe in so many things, yeah, which are not sometimes right. For example, if you see a normal person has started talking to himself, picking up papers, you know, not dressing well, that person is not hygienically clean, maybe they used to be very well groomed, they have started repeating their clothes, you will see this is a problem, but the society will say, just leave this one, just leave him. But it's a problem that has cropped, it's a presenting issue. This person was not like this. He used to talk nicely. Nowadays, he is talking things that we cannot understand. A counseling psychologist is able to know there is a problem because of the behavior. Thank God we don't look at the physical,
No,
we look
outside.
at the outside, the behavior. What is the person speaking about? What are they talking about? Because everything is in the brain, you know. What is this? How are they behaving? You know, if somebody tells you, you know, yesterday I was in Meru, for example, when you're in Nairobi or somewhere, and then they start talking about things that are not relevant, you'll question. But the society will say, this one is like that. But no. So pastors, as you had asked me, coming to the pastors issue, they should have counseling in their churches, not only counseling in their churches, qualified counselors who have gone to school, graduated, practicing, are in a body, you know, their bodies, we have bodies, yeah, which knows that we are trading there. So that a long time ago, I would like to demystify this because a long time ago there were quacks counselors who would say, even if somebody has done a certificate, he's a counselor, you know. No, this thing needs a lot of training, a lot, so that you understand the human psychology. There's a lot to learn scientifically, proven, so that you can be able to help the pastors. Because if people would be healed in the church through the word of God, and then they have a support system of the counseling psychology, and then this person will be whole. You have the word of God, you have the approach of the way you're going to deal with your anxieties. Yeah, I'll tell you to practice mindfulness. I'll tell you I'll give you breaks. You know, I always give my clients breaks. If you're running too much, please stop, relax. Tomorrow is another day. You see, that support system helps somebody to live a better life. Even if they come to church every day, but they have not been identified their problem, there's nothing that will work. Yes.
So there's a place for counseling psychology in the healing.
Yes.
Even as the pastors administer spirituality, there's a space for
Very big
psychological
one.
counseling.
Yes.
Now, talking about counseling, because right now the state of the nation is in a place where people are very hopeful about the new administration.
Yes. Yes.
And they were hoping like now in a few months pesa mfukoni, you know.
Yeah.
But as it is, it seems like things are going the opposite.
Yeah.
And so there is a certain silent anger across the country that can be attributed to the just the economic situation. It may not be like seen,
Yes.
but it could be running through. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. I know in my line of work, I've come across a lot. And the first thing is this shift in economic crisis. The expectation was so high. Yeah? Everybody had a good expectation. Remember, even when we went to the new administration, still, there are people who lost and there are people who won. Then after losing and winning, there is the reality. The reality is, this is the state of our economy. And so people had a lot of expectation. And what I am saying, even today, I'm saying that please let us reduce our expectation. The things that you cannot be able to control, you just leave it. That is the thing, because you could be pushing for something and it's really causing you a lot of havoc in your life. Anxiety levels become high, anger comes up, and so instead of those things to come to you, one thing, anxiety causes a lot of issues in your body. There's a lot of shaking, there's a lot of sleeplessness, insomnia, loss of appetite. And so I'm requesting people, everybody who is watching us today, that they should reduce their expectation. And again, they should accept. There's nothing good. In positive psychology, we say self-acceptance. Please let us accept where we are, Where am I, like Mercy? Where is Rev? Let us accept this is the current situation. What am I going to do? Everybody is different. My household is not the same as your household, is not the same as the viewers' household. So it's a good time for everybody to have a look at their finances, for example. How are we going to survive with this economy? Remember, our petrol is very high, and lately we have to pay for our cars. A lot is coming up, and we do not know what else. So to embrace that the economy is in crisis and we are in it. Actually, we are not in another country. We are in this country. This is the current situation. What am I going to adjust? I read the other day in the newspaper that Kenyans have changed their behavior in shopping. Why? Because of the current situation. How are we eating in our family? How are we controlling the water taps? Just something, atomic habits, slowly by slowly. We gotta accept where we are, and then we embrace so that we can be able to move on. And anger, you asked me about anger. We've said, whatever that you cannot be able to control, you just leave it and control yourself. Change is within you, Change is within me. I can only change to the economy than waiting for the economy to change for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that our leaders, our politicians also need, as part of their aids, as a psychosocial support person.
Yes.
So they can be able to know, they can also be healing agents for the people.
Yes.
Because if people are angry, the population is angry. So as a leader, as a political leader, as a corporate leader, what shouldn't you take a certain healing tone or understand your people as compared to doing things that stir the anger all the more?
Yeah, true. You see, the other day the government was trying to reduce the unga, to make sure to regularize the unga price. I think 2 weeks ago. And it brought about a lot. Prices in this area was higher than this, So they are trying.
But Scott, in Roiro,
yes,
the Roiro is where you get the best prices.
You see? Exactly.
Anyway.
And it's because the leaders are trying to go back to Wanjiko to know what is the issue with Wanjiko. But you see, it only rolls in the headlines. It's not really in the counties. If the government, county government especially, listened to the people, the community, the leaders, what is ailing Starehe, for example, what is ailing this county, what is ailing this place, then a meeting would be called so that the people, the leaders, can go one-on-one. And you see, the thing is, I don't know whether Kenyans are losing hope with their leaders or it's the leaders who are losing hope with their people. So they need a dialogue to know exactly what can be done. Because what I believe, Rev, is dialogue heals.
All right.
Because the leaders are too far. The Monanchi is complaining down here. So where is the bridge? Who could be the bridge? The community leaders, the leaders who are in the community. If they could bring people together to know, okay, what's ailing this place?
Yeah.
I think a solution can be had. You remember we were dealing with suicidal cases in Nyandarua, which was the leading suicidal cases. Why was Nyandarua in chaos? Especially everybody, the young, the old, they were killing themselves. And so a camp was sent there to know what is the issue. That is the best approach. Yeah, on my
All
side.
right. So, because it's very important that
Yeah.
the politicians, the leaders in the public arena that also understand
Yes.
they should not be distorting or hurting the people.
Yeah.
But they should be healing agents. And I work in an environment where since COVID, some businesses shut down, some people lost employment,
Yes.
and some entire residential areas have never been reoccupied. Since that time, businesses were shut down. So, and now in this season, things seem not to be getting better. So there's a hopelessness. People are losing things, right? Maybe you lose a job,
Yeah.
you lose a business, and then in the process, you lose a family. Just speak to that.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I've seen cases, not only in my line of work, in where I live, businesses shutting down, people relocating. I've seen many people relocating. I've had many people changing their jobs, people losing their jobs, or somebody got a lower job just to fend for their family. I've seen sicknesses in families because of this shift. Yeah? So I've seen children being changed from where they were to another school because of the school fees. And there's a lot of shift. This issue, what I would talk about is people to embrace change, because that is the only way. People get stressed because they must. I would like our viewers to remove the word must in their life. Because once you put the word must, I must do this. And if you don't, you get angry, you get anxious, you get frustrated. But I think the best thing is to have hope and to practice wisdom. Yeah? I always talk about this dichotomy of control. Have wisdom in whatever you do. If you find you're not making it, change. I've always talked about people need to embrace change. I've seen families changing even their cars, using a smaller car. I've seen families going to smaller houses for some time. Remember, these issues are very seasonal. And we believe in God, and God gives us a chance and another one and another one. And so at that moment where we are, or where everybody is, where do I find meaning? Do I find meaning in this current situation? In my joblessness, do I find meaning? In my grief, do I find meaning? In my divorce, do I find meaning? In everything that somebody is going through, there is a meaning. And once you discover the meaning, it's gonna give you hope.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's stay with that.
Yeah.
Especially because it's an area, or it's an impact that the surface politics
Yes.
will not tell you.
Yeah.
That people are not just losing their jobs, but in the process, they could be losing families.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about men here. Because say the woman keeps her job,
Yes.
and the man has lost his job.
Yes. Yes.
And maybe the man had a great job, would feel as if, I'm the anchor supplier at home. But now the job is lost.
Yes.
Or a business.
Yes.
Or somehow just the fortunes have dwindled and he's no longer financially as strong as he was.
Yeah.
But here is also the wife now who has sustained her livelihood and
Yes.
is doing well. Can you speak to the men?
Yeah. Thank you so much for throwing me to the deep end. But I would like to talk about family. A family, an ideal family, is a father, a mother, and children. That is the ideal family. There are many types of families. We have blended families. We have many families. And so, if the man was the breadwinner, and by bad luck or changes, he loses the job, and the wife is working, I do not see any problem. Why? Ask me why. Because it's a family unit. A family unit, I always talk about it's like a cabinet, it's like parliament, you know. The president is the father, the deputy is the wife, and then the children are the CSs, you know, the kids. A family is a unit, just like the way a government is run. And so, if the president is not there, the deputy takes over. Obviously, it goes without saying, because they are united. This would only go wrong if there was no unity. But if it was a unit whereby finances are open, whereby everybody have their own, you know, expectations. Everybody knows this is how much is earned in this family. This is our resources. This is how we are going to spend, and this is how we are going to save, and this is how we are going to invest.
Allow me to interrupt.
Yes.
Because in the African understanding, the man must continually be the supplier.
Uh-huh.
You know, that is the theory
Yes.
of the African understanding of a man.
Yeah.
He is the supplier, he
Yeah.
is the provider. But now things have shifted.
Yes.
And now you're telling us that we need to have now the wife take over. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, can you see some, psychologically, can you see some noise there?
Yeah, there's a lot of noise. Really, really. In the 21st century, we have the career woman. We have a mother, a woman who is married, has children, is a CEO or has a good job, and is a wife at the same time. Can you see all this balancing? And so, back to where I was. If a man loses his job, the wife really seriously needs to take over. Yeah, surely she has to take it over. And why am I saying this? Because these are her children also. They need to go to school, you know. And then she should be the support system to the husband, just like the way the husband has been a support system to her. And that's what is called a family. Everybody is getting, it's a tributary. I help you, you help me. We help the kids also help us. You know, it's a unit. And I've talked about boundaries most of the time, even in my interviews. And I say, a family needs to have boundaries. Let's say a family says, what if I lose my job? Is there a scenario whereby a couple discuss an open discussion like, what if I lose my job? So they know this is what will happen, you know, and the wife is aware. And I would like to talk to the wives, because I've been thrown here, and say this. If a woman or a mother, a wife is earning a lot of money than the husband, it should not be an issue. Because it's an open arena, it's a unit. The husband knows how much is in the house. There's no problem with that. It could be a problem if there is no openness. Again, in the African context, yes, we know that the man is the head of the family, which is good. He's the provider, even the Bible says. But things have changed. Today we have husbands who are at home looking after children, and the wife is bringing money because she's the one who has a job. And let me talk about seasons. There's a season for everything. It's just like an illness. There's a season of a husband supplying everything to the family, and there's a season for the wife supplying everything to the family. It could also not be financial, remember? It could be even emotional, for example. Everybody has a place. And what needs to be done is, a unit cannot be run because it's an African context or it is a white context. We are talking about a family, regardless its color, regardless its beliefs. It's a family, and a family for sure. It should run regardless whether it's the man or the woman. I mean, things must fall.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We'll take a short break, but just as we talk about this, just I'm again asking for the men, because you talked about psychology being also an approach of science.
Yes.
Is there a scientific explanation as to why when women, when a wife gets more money, that they slide into a sense of independence and sometimes feel they don't need the man? Is there a science to that? Viewer, we're taking a short break. This is Spotlight. we're talking about, the mental health in terms of, in the context of our economic times. And again, keep engaging us. Totally very good conversation we're having here with Mercy Wanjeri, who is coming to us from Mind Purpose Africa. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, becomes better. And I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Cindy.
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Do they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcasts?
Really? Even Meet of the One?
Yeah. I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website, www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Kama vile mashua baharini, mizani imekwisha wasili. Mara hii kila Alhamisi.
Salata kabisa, mpenzi mtazamaji, mpenzi msikilizaji wa Mizani.
Tungependa Wakenya waende kwenye nchi ambazo tuko na mikataba nao.
Ulikuwa na Raila Odinga, ukawa na Wajakoya pia. Mbona ungeunga mkono?
Tupe mauzani wa masuala ibuka na chupukayo toka kila pembe ya Kenya na ukanda huu wa Afrika. Yawe mambo au vijimambo, jiongea na kutaarifu na kuarifu zako fikra. Kila Alhamisi saa 1 machweo kwenye runinga ya Hope TV.
Ni tamu.
Tukutane Mizani.
Viewer, welcome back. This is Spotlight. We're talking to Mercy Wanjeri from Mind Purpose Africa on the mental health state in the times, especially of the economic situations that our country is facing, and also this being a holiday season as well. Just talking about how some things we need to engage given these two contexts. And again, you're welcome to be part of this conversation. Do engage us on our social media platforms as well as the WhatsApp line that's provided there. We'll be glad to have you as part of this conversation. Mercy, before we went for the break, we were looking at the science
Yes.
of talking about family, talking about a husband who loses their job,
Yeah.
and told us that the family is a unit, and therefore that the wife should just take over as a provider at that
Yeah.
point. And then the question was, again, when a woman, the husband has lost his job, but the woman now has also gained a greater economic power. And the effect of that is that there is a certain mind shift on the woman.
Yeah.
That the fact that now she is superior economically, that she tends to slide to independence, and also tends to demean, look down upon the man who is now at home and maybe having a lesser source of income. Any science in that?
I've not seen any, neither I've not had any, but
Maybe it should be an area that
yes.
should research.
Yes, it's an area that I should research. You know, research comes every time. Researchers are all over, working so hard to see the new trends. So I'm very sure it's almost coming out.
But your experience also.
And also my experience. And we are Africans, and that is where we are. That's the reality, that a man is the provider. Even if a wife has a good job, the man should provide. And you see, things have changed. Nowadays, opportunities, let's just face it. There are so many opportunities for women that have come up. Better jobs, women have gone back to school, you know. So a woman is a mother. Nowadays, it's either an MBA running, you know, and taking care of the kids. And a woman can be able to do all these things and still get good grades. I do not know how women are wired. For the man, it should be a support system. And I would like to talk to women or mothers who mistreat their husbands because either they're earning a lot of money or they demean their spouses because they're not at their level. As I had mentioned earlier, there are seasons. And this is the time that there's a balance. How would you treat your person when you have this or when you do not have? Because families, especially couples, a man and a woman, yeah, a father and a mother, it should be one. That is what we know. But if a man feels demeaned in a marriage because of finances, then the man could have also been hiding money, or the other way. Maybe it's the wife who hides money. And for us, in the context, everything should be on the table. That is what we believe in. Communication should be there so that people are under the same page. But if you're different pages, definitely there's going to be a lot of doubt. There's going to be people will cheating. Nowadays, there's a lot of that, cheating. Yeah, people, wives cheating, men cheating, because there's a lot of miscommunication in the marriage. And so people need to sit down and really ask. Couples, they need to sit down and ask themselves, how do we run our home? How will I love my wife even if she's earning a lot of money? When I was with her, when she was a girl, she didn't have, now she has. Another thing, if a wife is earning money, how aware is she to know how to treat her husband? You see, there's a lot of psychoeducation so that the family can run smoothly. But if there's a dislocation somewhere, there's going to be a lot of discomfort. And the person who will feel this discomfort is the man who is the provider. And I would like to talk to men also. The man in the house who feels not enough, you know, or feels he's not enough for his family. There are so many other ways. Just the man should also look at himself and call himself for a meditation exercise and ask himself, this is the situation. I had already talked about it earlier. Face your fears. The best thing for people is to face your current situation. If it's a man, face your fears. Yeah, she's earning more money. What do I do? What do I do? So you start planning, make goals. We're not competing here. But if it's a project, how do I help my wife finish this project even if I have a lesser job? Can I get another opportunity? Can I start another business? Can I, you know, people need to face their fears than run away and go out cheating, because you cannot run away from your things. You can only face them. We normally say, face your fears head on. They are yours. Also, own them. They are yours. Then from there, accept them. After accepting them, set goals on how to, this one finish, done. This one, done. And after 2 years, you'll see you go back to the same person that you wanted to be as a husband, as a father. And that goes also to the women. This is across the board. And I would like to mention about marriage. If a wife is happy in her marriage, she will not demean her husband. No. But if she's unhappy, she will maybe try to hide some things. So this comes to the head, who is the man. Love your wives unconditionally, and women submit to your wives. That is it. There's no other rule. There's no other rule. Even if trends are saying this, those are trends. What does the Bible say? live according to your values, your beliefs. And if anybody in their marriage feels this is not what they believe in, they should put it on the table. Yeah, I mean, it's a free society. If something is stressing someone because of finances, face those fears, talk about them with your spouse. Tell your spouse, now from December next year, I will not, have a plan. That is what will heal people. But if they hide under the sand, one day it's gonna explode. That is why you see a lot of divorce rates. Currently, the divorce rates are so high, up to 5,000. Yeah, in 2022, the report says that. It's because there's a lot of surge since 2021 to 2023. The surge has been felt because people cannot be able to stomach one another because there's something else that has come in, the economic crisis. So people should be aware there's an economic crisis and it has found couples in this day and age. What are we going to do about it?
All right.
Yes.
You know, Mercy, we're talking about something very countercultural because men have to learn something new.
Yes.
They have to learn that it's possible for you to be the head provider, but also things can change and you take the supporting role.
Yeah.
But who is educating men? Who is educating men? Because this is a real shift. But who is educating the men?
I like that question. You know, this question I've been asked many times. I'm a woman, but I can influence the men who are in my circles to really mentor other men. And men need to hear this, that times have changed. You see, the traditional man is not the man, the modern man. The modern man knows, I'm going to educate my wife because there are opportunities for her, because my kids will have a better life, than not educate the wife and they still stay the same level. And I've already talked about strategy. What are family strategies in your house? What have you strategized? What is working for you? You know, the man should be the leader. Even if he's not the one who is providing a lot of money, he can provide wisdom. He can provide security. He can provide so many things. I mean, just look, people should not just look at the financial aspect. That is a tip of the iceberg. There are so many other things that a man can do.
And Mercy, I'm having so many questions at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think all comes out in that there's a shift in the culture.
Yes.
That even the roles in families have also shifted. So we cannot have the traditional roles
Yes.
In a shifted culture.
Definitely.
And I think that, but from what you're saying is it's critical now that
It is.
we all learn, not just not just from across social tables, but get real classes, real workshops, real seminars,
Yes.
just to orient us on this new culture.
Definitely.
You know, and I'm just trying to also think about this holiday season now. And the thing about the holiday season
Yes.
is that it's the end of the year, and so much planning goes into it. But one of the things that happens
Yeah.
year after year
Yes.
is that it's a time to show off. It's a time to show off that, oh, the year has been nice for me. The year has been good. Look, I can buy all these things in this market. I can spend all this money on a party. I can take this holiday. You know, it's almost a time of competition
Yeah.
in a way. But how do you bring us to our senses at this time?
Yeah. This is individual. How do you perceive Christmas, for example? Yeah? How do you celebrate Christmas? There are families who go to Dubai, others they go to other countries, others go to their ushago, and they are okay with it. Others celebrate at home, yeah? Right now I know a lot of chicken, a lot of goats will be slaughtered it's party time, yeah? And others, they don't. Others, there are families who actually do not. They don't. It's a normal day. And so I'd like to speak to the festive season that is just around the corner, that guys need to be very wise in terms of spending. It depends. If a family had not planned for for Christmas, yeah, that's an issue because everything needs planning, goals, you know. Since January, I know there are people who saved for their holidays or they do that every time. What is your culture? What is your culture in your family? Is it that on 24th is when you know what 24th, 5th you'll do? You know, planning, you know, goal setting. Also, people need to discuss among themselves in a family. Because you see, I've seen families whereby maybe one person bulldozes everybody and says, this is where we are going, and people do not want to go there. So is there a very good, candid conversation of the small kids are saying, let's do this, then they want swimming. These teenagers, maybe they want to hang out with their friends. Wives want to go maybe, you know, to fashion or whatever. Husbands, you know, there should be, everybody needs to be included. In terms of competition, you know, we are living in a world of pretense and show off. People need to be real. Let's be real. Let's just be real. If you had saved this much, that is what you're going to use according to your budget. If, you know, it's relative. A budget is relative. You could be having an exorbitant budget or a reasonable budget. So this is what is on the table. Can we get these places where we are going to visit? Can we eat this? Can we plan? Can we give? It's a season of giving. Yeah, it's the birth of Christ. How are we helping? Have families put a helping hand to maybe a children's home, for example, an orphan somewhere, a widower, you know, a jobless person. You can bless that person. So people need to be wise. Actually, you know, we are coming back from where we were. People have now started seeing the reality, you know. Gone are the days you could see people throwing food, you know, just like that. Nowadays, people are very careful. The trends are changing because of the economic crisis. And so, during this season, families, it's a request, and I know it's the best thing you can do to your heart, Rev, is giving. Giving gives a satisfaction. Psychologists, we say give. Give your services. Give information. Yeah, help the needy. Giving is the only satisfaction a person gets than being paid money. Yeah, it is an aha moment. You know, the way you give and maybe you're giving somebody a pair of shoes. The way that person receives that shoe and embraces you, it is a satisfying feeling that you cannot buy. So guys, it's time to spread the love, give. Don't look at your neighbor. You know yourself. Before we started this program, we said people need to analyze themselves and know where they are at. Accept yourself. If you have not saved, accept yourself even now. You didn't save. If you didn't have, accept yourself. But you know what I believe in? There's nobody who doesn't have something to give. You always have something to give, even information. Like now, me here, we are giving information. Everybody, even love, even that hug, you know, I had a complaint that people are not going home. They're not going to look after their parents. You know, this 21st century people, they're leaving their parents in the village and they're not going. And so it's a good time to go to the village and hug your parent. Just say, I love you. You know, they're very simple words. Saying I love you to a parent is enough than a big pickup full of things and you didn't tell them that you love them. Okay. So everybody has a take of giving. It's not only monetary, it's not only material. Look at yourself, see where you are, what can I give, and start rolling.
So consider giving.
Yes.
Not just spending.
Yes.
And all of us we may not have much to spend.
Exactly.
But we all have something to give.
Yes.
That's quite perspective giving.
Yeah.
When talking about young people, you talked about young people wanting maybe to just hang out with their friends and all.
Yes.
But this holiday season is a season when young people also cross boundaries quite a bit. Some of them cross boundaries for the very first time. Boundaries around drugs and alcohol.
Yes.
Boundaries around sexuality, boundaries around. Just so many boundaries. It's a time when, because it's a parting time. And so young people end up getting really injured. And on the other side of the holiday season, there's a lot of pain and regret.
Yes.
And people have changed, by the time the holiday season
Yes.
is done, for the worse.
Yes.
Right? For the worse. How does a young person have then an identity that can be able to go through festivities like this, yet remain in one piece?
Yes, thank you so much. I know we are in December. It's the most celebrated month throughout the year because there's a lot of change. Kids, teenagers especially, are initiated. The girls go through so many lessons. I mean, it's hanging out, the new trends, fashion, all these things, meeting new friends, a lot of gadgets, I always talk about the phone. Kids are on phone for more than 10 hours and parents are aware and they cannot do anything about it. Yeah, those are the things that come to us. Kids end up having eyesight problems. Kids get a lot of bad company online, because the parents have not put parental, controls.
Yeah.
And so, teenagers first. Teenagers want to be identified with their peers. Parents should allow their teenagers to be with their peers who they know, because that's when they find. Yeah. Another thing teenagers do, they live their parents' lives. They want to talk about the new car of their dad, the new car of their mother, the new phone, where they are, the new job. They are proud of their parents. They are very keen on what is happening in the family. And if the family is not intact, the kids end up getting frustrated and go to drugs, for example. Yeah? Bad company. Yeah? So, during this season, my message is, teenagers, please obey your parents. I know. Just listen. They are good listeners. Speak. Parents needs to speak. Just speak. They are listening. They could not show you they are listening, but they are hearing what you are saying. And watch out for new trends. If there is a teenager somewhere, remember, I always talk about purpose in life in a teenager's life. What is your purpose in life as a teenager? What are you aspiring to do? Because if you go to a bad company, of course you'll not achieve what you wanted. You want to change your life? You gotta be on this side. So what is your purpose? Because purpose is the one that will take you to the next level. What goals are you having in your life? Do I have goals of saying, I will not go to that person because they are on drugs or they deal with drugs. I will not go to this because these children or these people are on pornography. That is bad company. I will choose my friends very wisely because I have my own values. We are bringing teenagers who know themselves. And if there's a teenager out there who do not know, teenagers do not have breaks. They are very egocentric. They rely on impulsivity. They want to do things to the extreme. So when can a teenager put a break? We tell them ourselves. Even today, I would like to tell them, if you feel you want to do something, please remember to have a break. Yeah, slowly. Because once it's extreme, that is why you find teenage pregnancies. That is why you find drugs and alcohol. That is why you find bad company, because they want to do things in the extreme. And again, parents, it's a good time to know your children. Yeah, it's parents. I don't want parents to be shocked, when they see their teenagers in certain behavior. Yeah, parents need to be with their kids, so that they know what extreme are they. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a very celebrative time on one hand,
Yeah.
but a time also for everyone to be alert, so that you don't do things that you don't understand. You don't do things that will you will end up regretting,
Yes.
because Jesus did not come to break you. Jesus came to save you.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Mercy Wanjeri, from Mind Purpose Africa. Thank you always for your views and your perspectives. Always very forming, especially now in these economic times. And hopefully we can get another time when we can talk about just the new family formations that we must embrace, given the shifts that are happening in our wider culture.
Okay.
Again, thank you so much. And if we don't meet again on Spotlight, I think it's not too early to say, blessed Christmas to you.
Thank you very
And
much.
thank you for being very supportive of Spotlight
Thank you.
throughout the year.
Thank you so much, Rev.
Viewer, we've been talking to Mercy Wanjeri, coming to us from Mind Purpose Africa, and a lot of things, a lot of insights that inform us in the context of the economic situation we are in the context of the holiday season we are in. But picking up just from the responses and perspectives from Mercy Wanjeri, it is clear that the Bible has also really good psychology. So read the scriptures. You get out of wisdom, out of psychological benefits from it as well. And again, blessings to you. Have a good night.